Mayong adlaw, Merry Christmas. Mayong Pasko sa tanan. Pila na lang kaadlaw karon ato nang isaulog ang Pasko. Last week and even last Sunday, na-share na ko ng mga butang nga pero gusto na ako i-share sa uban binawala sa wala ka-appeal sa live. But the last week we've seen how God is true to His promises. From thousands of years before of promising to send the Messiah, from Genesis 3:15, tinuod gayud siya sa mga saad. Interesting kayo ang Biblia. It always wants us to look for the future. In the time of Adam and Eve and Abraham, they were looking for the future. And even us, kita karon, we are always looking for the future. Yes, we look back to the past of we remember what has been done, but then we look for the future because there is this glorification. So, maabot nga panahon. So, interesting lang kayo. Mo lang yung gusto na ko i-share. I shared this last Sunday. Sa lang ka word, the Bible is really the pursuit of God sa tao. Ang paggukod, ang pag-apas sa tao. Now, ang atong una-una, atong naandan nga minsay kita, ang mag-pursue sa Ginoo. Kita, ang mag-apas sa Ginoo. No one seeks God. Diba? Actually, the Bible is telling is that He is the one who is really seeking us. Siya gyud ang kapangita sa ato. And let us rest with that very encouraging truth. Bisan unsaon nimo pagukod sa Ginoo, kabalo kaon sa ending, pagka miserable ra gyapon kay will always end up short. Kay nga man ang Ginoo nga ang imong pagpaningkamot daw trapulan na sa katubangan sa kinahanglan nato ang pagkamatarong ni Jesucristo. Busa, magapahulay kita sa pagpamalandong na ang Ginoo man gayud ang nangita sa ato. He's the one who really sought after us. That's why magaling shepherd finding the lost sheep. And it's not the sheep finding the shepherd. Wala gayud na. So, mao kana ang mensahe sa Pasko. Ang pagpursue sa Ginoo sa ato, ang pagpangita sa ato na siya ang Dios nagkatawang tao sa Tagalog pa. He was in human form, but He was perfect because tinuod sa panahon nga nagmapdo si Maria, gusto na unta mo iskapo si Jose. He wanted to divorce silently because there was an engagement, but God appeared to him in a dream, and dili pwede mag-appear ang Ginoo face to face sa iya kay mamatay siya, just like the other people in the Bible. When there are dreams and visions, it's because God could not appear face to face with man kay mamatay sila. Bisan pa man pipila lang nga higayon, kang Moses even ang likod ba niya nakita. And other instances, it was really through dreams and visions na magpakita ang Ginoo sa iyang mensahe. And so with Joseph. And that's why nothing happened. Wala na itabo kang Maria Jose until napanganak si Jesus. Busa, there was no contamination dito kang Jesus. And that's very important because that has been the plan from the very beginning. So, atong balikan gamay ang storya. Interesting lang na kaya ang Bible, if you come to think of it, so, it was written by Moses, ang mga unang mga libro. So, a lot of things happened already and God inspired Moses to write it. And then when Moses wrote it, a lot of things make sense na dayon. Mao din eh. And then we see, interesting kayo, even karon nasama sa illustration sa salida ba? Ang salida, human naman na. Gihimo na sa writer, sa director, sa producer, sa mga actor. And then we just watch it and enjoy it. But then, it doesn't matter kung sa atong opinion. It doesn't matter kung sa atong mga analysis. Because actually, when you look at the Bible, it's the one analyzing us. Moshe analyze sa ato. And what it really tells us is there's this really story, there's narrative of the pursuit of God from the very beginning, even though man, that He's special ngayong giimo, does not choose Him. But He's the one who's choosing us, loving us, pursuing us. And that's Christmas because God then, who was divine, became human and He became like us. Kaya nga naman naman yung mga requirement ng pastorya na yung mga butang na kinahanglan matuman. Ang mauto ang mga requirement sa Ginoo, pinagi sa balaod, klaro sa ilahan, hindi nila katuman. That's why, ingon ang gospel, that's why connect na tanan. Okay, the pursuit of God. He lived the life that we should have lived. That's why He was born as a man. And of course, later we know that the birth of Christ was just a prelude for His death. That's why He lived the life that we should have lived, and He died a death that we deserve. Mauna ang gospel is just an announcement of what has been done. And because of what Christ did, His incarnation, of His pursuing us, what happened to us? we have been forgiven of our sins. He doesn't remember our sins no more on the account of Jesus. And what else happened to us? We have been accepted. That's why ingon dito, therefore, because you are already holy and acceptable, let this change your minds. Diba? Let this change your minds. You are already holy and acceptable. It is not a goal to be accomplished. It is a position that you have when you rest in the finished work of Christ. You are holy and acceptable, just as our Father is holy. Dili atong paningkamot, pero ang paningkamot ni Jesus. Mo gina ang mensahe sa Pasko. Okay? We have been forgiven, we have been accepted, and then now we have become His beloved. He loves us, and that doesn't change. There's nothing we could do to change His love. There's nothing we could do to add to it or to subtract to it. It's constant because of Christ's finished work on the cross. So, and it's because of Christ's incarnation, ang pagkatao niya. So, mao gina ang mensahe sa Pasko. So, malunod kini. Kay busy kita pag Pasko, no? Dagan tag mga party, dagan mga okasyon, mga gathering, and people say it's only for children. But actually, it's people who are lonely, who are struggling. That's why remember this message. When you wake up at night or early in the morning, when you go to your bed, and even though bisag unsa pa gibuhat nimo sa imong kinabuhi, you still end up murag na ay kakawaang. You are lonely. Ingon nila, the most loneliest people are the ones who could not be honest of their mistakes. And if you could not be honest with your mistake, but there's one who would really listen to you. And who's that person? It's Jesus. And that's why He became human. He came for you, for the lonely, for those who are struggling. Just like Jacob, I remember again, he's my favorite now. He was wrestling with God, struggling with God, and God lets him win. And many times that's what God does to us. He appears to us in our loneliness, in our struggle, and we wrestle with Him, and then we don't let go of Him, and He says, I will let you win this time. I will let you win. And over again, He does that because we have become His beloved. I remember the story of one of my favorite preacher, Timothy Keller, that early in the morning, who wakes up to get water for their children? Is it the mother? But it's usually the father, because the mother has been tired the whole day. But who would wake up early in the morning to get water for his children? It's the Father. It's the same picture of our God. When we call on Him anytime when we're lonely and struggling, He's always there to listen to us, to get us water, to let us drink, and to hold on to us, because He is the one actually holding on to us. So that's the message of Christmas. Christ incarnate, living the life that we should have lived, dying the death that we deserve, coming to us because He pursues us, He loves us. And that's the story of the Bible. Even at the very end in our glorification, it's still the pursuit of God, because we are the very expression of who God is, and that's called Imago Dei, as it made sense there in the beginning. So let this message find place in our hearts, that we could rest on it, that God pursues us, and remember that on Christmas, on His incarnation. So hope everybody will have a blessed season. Stay safe. Amping.